Good afternoon. Good morning, Inman readers. Oh my gosh, I missed you all week. Today on our show, every week, is my reliable, dependable partner, Danielle Riley. Hello, Danielle.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
I'm great. I'm in Miami.
Woohoo! Oh, yeah, that's right. You had the conference. How did that go?
We had a really good conference in Fort Lauderdale. I spoke at the LBGT event. Fantastic. Was supposed to speak at Fort Lauderdale Association, canceled because of the alleged hurricane, which never happened. Then we just been on the road meeting with wonderful people from the real estate industry and other stranger wacko weirdos in Florida. And tell us, Danielle, you brought on this cool guest. He's such a cool looking guy. I want to know all about him. Who is this?
We have Herman with us today, and Herman doesn't have a last name. He's just Herman. Say hi.
Like Madonna or God, right?
Yeah, or Yaz. I have a wife that only goes by Yaz. She doesn't. That's You special people can have that. Herman, I love that. Now, Herman, we gotta. You know how it works on this show?
Yes, I watched all your episodes, Mr. Brad.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we're changing the format, and we're going to grill you today. I'm kidding. We're not going to grill you.
No, I bring it on.
So there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. I'm going to make a promise today, Danielle. Any one of us that uses the word election, politics, Hillary, Trump, Gary Johnson, et al., and I'll pony up for all of you all. I will contribute $100 to charity. So this show will be relief for our Inman readers from all of the tension and fighting and innuendo and claims and counterclaims. And how does that sound, gang? Are you okay with that, Howard?
Sounds great to me.
Okay, good. And plus, there's a lot of important real estate to talk about. And so maybe, though, we should start a little different, Danielle. And Howard, tell us, you started in real estate out of college, and as I understand, you went to UC Berkeley?
That's right, Brad. And it's Herman, half her, half man.
Did I call you Howard?
I've been called worse. No worries. I've been called Henry, Howard. No worries, no worries.
Well, Herman, it's under 30, over 60, and over 60 people make those kind of stupid mistakes. I'm so sorry.
Brad.
Not again.
My little trick is when I can't remember someone's name, is I say, "Oh, hey, sweetie girl." Yeah, don't worry. I do the same thing.
Back in the day, I used to teach at Berkeley. That's a great university, Herman.
Thank you. Yeah, I went to Berkeley, and very shortly afterwards, actually during Berkeley, I got recruited by Gap Inc. Corporate, which is based here in San Francisco, to be an analyst. And I took the job because, in 1999 and 2000, Gap was like at the top of the world. It was like their peak of their powers. Now, not so much. So I took that job, got the signing bonus, and I left literally like in 3 months. It was just so like soul draining for me. It just wasn't for me. Like, being like autonomous for 22 years of one's life, all of a sudden for me to have this like odd nebulous entity like owning me from 7 to 7 every day, it was just not for me. So I quit. And then my mom was like, why don't you get your license while you study for your MCATs or your LSATs, and I never got around to doing that because once I got my license, it just started selling up with a storm. And I thought, why would I be a lawyer and be saddled with student debt for the next 5 years of my life and waste my time studying? And I just kind of flourished. And here we are, 38 years.
Herman, help me out with this. You went to Cal Berkeley. Your mom you mentioned your mom had something to do with that, right? Encouraging you and nurturing you on education as a priority. You don't know, hey, by the way, gang, if people don't know around this, UC Berkeley is one of the hardest universities in the world to get into. So you don't just drop into UC Berkeley. So there was a force behind you. I assume it wasn't just you all alone, Herman, doing it, right?
My mom, stereotypically speaking, my mom wasn't a tiger mom. There's a lot of, Fremont, which is where I grew up, Saratoga, Cupertino, some of these other Silicon Valley. They're notoriously, my mom was actually fairly hands-off. I was just driven kind of on my own, I guess. I just wanted to get the hell out of my hometown, basically, was it. So, I just did things my own way. Even from the beginning, I applied to Berkeley, the joke. I thought I was going to get into like Davis or something, but I remember my essay was it's a what is your what did they say? What is your happy space or something? It was one of these essay prompts, and I wrote I loved disco. And I said I would go to school every day in my disco pants and my high heels and my big Afro wigs, and I would just be marching to my own drum beat. And I said that was like how I always lived my life. And I thought I wrote it as a joke, but I think that was kind of what, because my scores weren't that amazing, honestly. But I think it was that weird essay that kind of got me in. And I just think that's a bit of metaphor for like my whole career, even in real estate in my life. I just kind of do things my way, and you know, criticism be damned.
Love it. Danielle, what do you think about this? College educated, you are too. What is that? More and more college educated people are going into real estate. Is it about freedom, like Herman, or is it something else?
Yeah, I don't think we have enough college people coming into real estate. I would love to see more people graduate from college and come right into the business, but unfortunately, it seems to be a second career for most people. But yeah, I think it's great because the biggest thing that I learned in college was self-discipline, which is obviously huge in this industry. If you don't have self-discipline, you're not going to be successful. So I think that having that freedom that you have at college of nobody pressuring you to go to classes or to do your laundry, you're basically on your own. It's definitely good practice to be in this industry.
Herman, tell us this. You're successful at real estate. What are the one or two things that account for your success? A lot of people in real estate that aren't successful.
Just getting started, I feel, Brad. I mean, I mean, success is relative. But what is it? My attributes? I guess kind of what Danielle said. It's like it's a 24-hour, 7-day a week. It could be that. And so, if for someone who's a workhorse like me, I enjoy that. And you know, it's not like I take vacations or I just, if I'm not working, I feel bad about myself. It's very unfortunate that I'm being cursed or blessed where like my success is very much tied to my self-esteem, you know, so it's like I have to always constantly work and, but it's my happy space too. So I just really enjoy, I don't even feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm just like every day I don't want to go to sleep at night because I feel like, oh my gosh, I could be doing so much more in the next 7 hours. Yeah. And I just wait to wake up the next day because to start my 7, I'm almost 40 years old, and I feel like a lot of people who have been like stuck in an industry, and my colleagues from Berkeley, they're just like, I feel like they're so deep in their career now. It's they don't have that joy. You know, they always ask me, "What are you smoking, Herman?" I mean, no, I just like my job. I'm just living my truth. It's not that hard.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Danielle, I'm sure you agree with this. People always ask me, you know, whatever success I've enjoyed, how did it happen? I said, it's just simple. I really outworked everybody, and that's the way to do it. Gang, should we move? So our format. By the way, that was very insightful. We should probably go on and on about these things. By the way, Herman, where do you live now? Do you live in the
Berkeley.
city or?
I still in Berkeley.
Great. I love Berkeley. I love the East Bay, the right and bright side of the Bay.
Born and raised there.
I love it. So, stories of the week, Danielle. Anything pop out this week that we should chat about that you thought was interesting?
I mean, I would definitely, obviously, I think we got to touch on the PHH CFPB lawsuit because that was definitely enlightening, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very dense piece of journalism about this complicated court case.
Yeah. It took me
I guess
a while.
does it come down to, you know, realtors form alliances and partnerships with lenders and title companies, and there's rules, and you got to be careful. But on the other hand, some of this, what do you think? What's the nut graph, as we say in journalism? What's the takeaway for realtors when it comes to these partnerships? What's the beware, and what can you do, and what can you get away with? I mean, I don't want to cut to simplicity here, but isn't that part what this is all about?
Yeah. No, I think that the biggest thing that came from it, at least what I took from it, is that the CFPB has the way that their organization is structured. It's kind of scary. Sounds like one man kind of has all the power, and that's the opposite of what we should be doing as a democracy.
Yeah. Yeah, the federal government, you know, beating up companies is kind of scary. For sure. Anyway, watch that case. It sounds like there's some relief there by the court in some ways, but we got to always be aware of, you know, what is our duty to consumers. Let me ask both of you, do you feel okay about referring out lenders, specific lenders? I mean, that's kind of what your customers expect you to do, right, or not?
I think the general consensus in terms of advice is you just want to give them multiple options, I feel.
Exactly.
So I don't want to ever be kind of traced back to me. I just want to make sure the liability is like, you're waving at me or somebody. Is it me or not?
No, keep talking. I'm waving at Yaz, who just walked into our room, and I asked her to come over and say hi. She said, maybe you have met. I don't know. But anyway.
There's something wrong. He's like spazzing out in front of me.
I'm sorry. I'm waving at Yaz, Herman. You're saying something serious, and I'm waving. What kind of show is this? Take this guy off the air.
There she is. Hi, Yaz.
Hi.
We're pretty informal. We're not CNN here, Herman. Go ahead, finish you like to give consumers options.
Yes, and it's not just like being of service, it's also to protect ourselves as realtors, because we don't want it to seem like we ever like coerce someone into a corner. So, that's as much as we can do, I feel.
Exactly. What's another story we should talk about, Danielle, that's important?
Well, we had a couple of them. I think one that kind of struck my interest was the whole Wells Fargo scandal.
Oh my gosh.
Herman, did you read that article?
I did. Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of all over the internet. I thought there was going to be a lot of big blowback from my buyers, from people, but interestingly enough, like I went to a couple of signings where, that day it hit the fan, and they were getting loans from Wells Fargo too, and they never really said anything. I thought I was going to have to like address it somehow in the room, but no one ever said anything. I don't know if it's just going to blow over or what, or if the consumers are so jaded at this point that they just realize that they're just, a big bank is a big bank. I don't think this is 10 years ago, like since the crash happened. And I just feel people are very cynical about corporations, especially millennials. But I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's, there's too big to fail, and, a lot of bad behavior. And then they're forgiven, then they're bailed out. And then you read a story like this, and it looks to me, I was in the Bay Area for many years, and it looks to me like there was a culture there that went, maybe. And, it's back to the old lesson, sales at all costs, and compromise the customer to collect fees or commissions in real estate. And, you're in the age of transparency, you're probably going to have some blowback that's pretty serious. And look at this company. It lost, lots of stock value. The management team was, so I think that big banks, and for that matter, every big company, all of us, small business, we have to always be true to values that, people, integrity, all those things are really important. Can't just be about collecting commissions.
Yeah.
I feel it's excused though. I mean, and I know you told us not to mention the election or whatever, but I just think it's a cultural zeitgeist now where people, like, you find out people do bad things, and then, like you said, it's easily exonerated, and you move on. There's a big, possibly, you give it back your pay or something. But in this culture now, where bad behavior is just done 24/7 on the news cycle by people who we're supposed to be role models for, well, how would you expect someone who is not going to be possibly the president of the United States act any differently than a president of a bank? It's almost like we are so forgiving of the political arena, but then why are we holding people in the corporate private sector differently? It's not. I feel like people are so desensitized now. They're just like it is what it is. I mean, I'm feeling like there's going to be some like political and topical blowback, but I guarantee you, like in next week, it's going to be a new topic. I mean, that's just how it goes, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I mean,
we're a news organization, and so we always look at it, Herman, and there's been some controversy in our industry this week that Danielle and we weren't going to talk about, but without getting into details, it is our duty to make sure, for us at least, you got to get the facts straight. There's a lot of nonsense put out there. You just don't know what's true or not true. And in our little world, our duty is to you all, real estate people, what is the truth? What are the facts? And then, be fair. But we're not afraid of any of it, and we don't give up on it. But it's a tricky thing to get the facts straight and the news right. So, but we're into long-form journalism. That's old school stuff.
Well, Brad, I went to Berkeley. My major was mass communications. I was supposed to be you, actually. I mean, I really was into media and journalism and all that stuff too. So, the integrity is, I was schooled by those principles. But it's an interesting time in space to be, because this is the TMZ era where everything is just a soundbite, and people don't even read the article. It's just the headlines, and yeah, it's a very fascinating time, journalistically speaking.
Danielle, you want to weigh in on this? You want to move to the next story?
Yeah, we'll move to the next story. Let's talk about, let's see, Sothebys and Zillow. So apparently Sothebys came out, I think this article came out, about 4 days ago. They beat Zillow and Realtor.com to the 3D video walkthroughs. And I noticed some comments on the post where people were kind of saying, no, that's not true. The 3D videos have been going on. It's not some great new invention that Sotheby's came up with, but it seems to be working well for them.
Yeah, I think what it was is they enabled it across all listings,
Yep.
As I understand it, so that it's not just throwing up a few random experimental 3D videos, but enabled it to be everywhere. We'll see if it happens, Again, back as a news company, we report these announcements, but we always try to say, is this real? Is this BS? Is it really happening? Are you just putting your name on 3D? What's really going on here? And
I'm sorry, go on.
No, let's go for it.
Just full disclosure, I do work for Sotheby's, but I wasn't really aware of this article, this phenomenon, because maybe just it's the function of being in the Bay Area. Everyone uses it, so it wasn't like I'm confused why this is news. But I guess from a national level, maybe VR and 3R aren't really as widely used, I guess.
I mean, it's. You are in the coast where I live. We're in an unusual area, and in many parts of the country I've been traveling to recently. It's always amazing to me how many are not adopting some of this technology, but it's happening. But we teach the world, and they teach us too.
The way the press release read seemed like Sotheby's had some exclusivity for 3R or VR, but Matterport. I mean, I was confused. Like it didn't explain to me, was it an actual beating Zillow to that? It's just a matter of timing. Zillow in probably 2 weeks will just say, oh, we don't like the story, so let's do the same thing. But right. was there a back world contract or arrangement between Sotheby's and some of the 3R companies? I was confused by that kind of statement.
Well, the good thing about our philosophy is write about all this stuff, so they all get fiercely competitive and they all want to stumble over each other to offer it to your customers first, and realtors adopt it. It's kind of like with e-signatures, write about all of them. Try to decipher the BS from the facts, but get the word out so people get excited to compete with one another to make it happen. That's the beauty of transparency, We can talk about all this stuff, like great agents and bad agents, which we do.
None here, right?
Let's see, anything else? It seems like maybe we'll go into next week's stories. I'll give you all a tip on what some of those are. Would that be, Danielle, is there something else we missed we should cover?
Yeah, well, I think Herman had come up with a couple of good talking points. We wanted to talk about age in the real estate industry. Herman, you sent over those talking points a few days ago, I believe. So just talking about real estate as your first career.
Right.
All that fun stuff.
I actually, when I sent it over to you guys, I didn't watch episode 2, and I think you guys talked about this earlier in some of your prior videos, but I still think it's important because, the average age of a realtor is, 58 or something, is that correct? Give or take, and it's usually, like you said, Danielle, second or third career. So, it was just very fascinating for me to kind of get out of Berkeley. Essentially, my whole sphere is just renters, people saddled with debt. It was very difficult for me to kind of launch my career. And even to this day, if I'm not, my glasses are fake. I don't want to wear a tie. I have to always appear, I have to make sure I always appear, extra older / experienced, because I just feel like it is a very visual culture. We're in sales. People judge you by your car and by the way you dress. And I always try to tell newer agents out there, half of the job I feel is just imaging, branding, messaging, and that's just, I just feel it's so unpolitically correct to say this, but I think just people judge you all the time by the way you look. And you have to understand that you can't change that. You could be the most amazing agent in the world and the most ethical. It doesn't matter, because people say, well, how did this woman who just got a license 2 years ago start, selling all these $1 million homes? And I said, well, it's because she's married to a doctor. She's really active in the PTA. It's almost like these people who have access. It's like, it's who you know frankly. And so it's difficult as a younger person, but I mean, I agree with Danielle. I think younger people should join this career. It's an amazing career. You can be like very successful, and it's the whole notion of millennials being, I mean, I wrote this article for Huffington Post years ago during the crash about, they asked me, why are you in real estate? The whole world's crashing in real estate. Why are you in this business, right? At the time, you know, realtors were really kind of on fire. I mean, not, you know, being picked on for the crash and whatnot. And I said, well, first of all, I'm a perfectionist and I work a lot. I'm an overachiever, and this is the kind of job that rewards you for that. I'm a workaholic. You can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you got to wear different hats. You know, I focus very. I can't focus on one thing. You have to be marketer, loans and sales and design. You have to do everything. But the most important thing is, I have a problem with authority. I don't like working for bosses. Because usually I'm smarter than they are. So, and it was just difficult for me to accept the fact that, oh my God, I'm gonna have to work in a job where I have to like kiss someone's butt for the next, 5 years to get an incremental like bump in my salary. I mean, God forbid he gets transferred or something. I mean, this is not what I signed up for. And, based on all of these attributes, being an overachiever, being like a workaholic and having problems with authority, like what other job would take me? There's no other job that will take me. So, I think millennials, from the studies are showing, we tend to be, I shouldn't say we, because I'm 38. So I think I'm like literally right on that cusp. I just think that, I think they're looking, that's why startup culture is very popular with millennials, because I think they want all of those attributes I just discussed. And I really wish there was a bigger outreach towards millennials to join this wonderful business that we're in. Cause, I feel like I'm already at the peak, entering my peak years in my 40s. And I just feel like a lot of my friends who are in medical school or law school, I mean, they're just getting now started because they're finally getting their student debt off their back and starting their practices. And I just think it's so undervalued. Like, we need a big old PR campaign.
Yeah, I wish, and I wish, I was thinking about this when I saw your talking points come over, is I wish that NAR would do some sort of a campaign to push for these younger agents to get into the business right when they get out of college and make real estate their first career. And I know it's something that's been discussed at the national YPN level. And right now, I mean, personally, I don't have much influence on the industry as a whole, but I have 4 agents under the age of 30 right now taking their licensing exam. And everyone's like, well, aren't they a little young? And I'm like, well, I started when I was 19. And yeah, I was way too young. But look at where I am now, almost 10 years later. So I think if we can all kind of come together as an industry and recognize that some of the best agents I know are millennials, are under the age of 30. And there's a few reasons for that. I mean, not only are they technologically savvy, but they're more adept to change. And in this industry, you have to be ready to change every single day. And you get people that are older, whether they're in their 50s or their 60s and their 70s, and they're so set in their ways that they're not willing to learn how to even email or text message, let alone use video, all of these like up and coming things that you absolutely need to survive in this business. So I would love to see there be some sort of a national campaign and a push for younger agents to get into the business, because I think that's what we need.
I will tell you this, after the alarm went off in the hotel, it's not an alarm, it's a fake alarm. The cool thing about the Inman community, it is just turning into a complete young fest.
That's awesome.
Huge, so down in the 30s, almost down to the 20s. And I think that's because it's open, it's tolerant, it's innovative, it's non-judgmental, it's free, I don't know what it is. We don't have an agenda. We're not trying to do anything. It's just suddenly the whole community's been transformed. I don't know how to explain it. And we didn't have necessarily a plan. We didn't go out and advocate anything. I'm the last of the Mohicans, the old people here, really. That's the young audience.
Brad, I don't want to forget the older agents. I mean, the majority of the agents are of that range. So, people, I think when they watch videos like this or read articles about how young and technology, I think they feel bad about themselves, because at some point they're 7 years old and they're like, it's over. I don't want to deflect them either. They're still a really great part. And you can't substitute for experience. So how do we meld the two? I always tell like older agents, I say, you know what? you're not going to probably be a social media queen. You're just not. So what you should do is partner with somebody who's younger, and there you go. You can like kind of source each other's like talents. But I just, you know,
absolutely,
5-year-old is not going to be, you know, a Twitter queen. She, I mean, for the most, generally speaking, it's just I don't think she is. But that's okay. I mean, you just have to, you know, tap in your resources where you're weak.
Yeah, I don't think any of this is about pushing out older people. It's most of the, you know, the older people in the Inman community are young in spirit. They want to change. They want to innovate. They wouldn't be hanging around the Inman community if they didn't want to do that. So that's really the cool thing. Hey, next week, really quick, Danielle, we're running out of time. Why are real estate commission rates in the U.S. higher than the rest of the world? That's one of our stories, because I guess they are, and we're going to find out why. And then we're going to get some really interesting consumer data from Zillow, Herman and Danielle, that hasn't been revealed before. Zillow just did this massive study of consumers, 13,000 plus surveyed, and we're going to get all this great insight on consumers that'll help, I think, people in the industry. And then a good question we put to Inman readers: should you mix politics and social media? Is it a good idea for you to do professionally? We have a survey of our readership, and so it's going to be fun to read. And there's a bunch of other stuff. We do about 80 stories a week. Some people tell us too much, but I'm a content guy. The more the merrier, as long as it's high quality, and a lot of other stuff. What are you all doing for the weekend before we head out to the beach?
Cool. I have my first Halloween party tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What are you dressing as?
Jasmine from Aladdin.
Pretty safe.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I decided to dress up as Stevie Nicks, which obviously meant that I had to wear a bleach blonde wig. And I, to be honest with you, looked like a drug addict. So I decided from here on out, I'm only doing costumes that fit with my hair so that I don't have to ever be a blonde ever again. No offense to blondes. I just don't look good as a blonde. So last year I was Hermione from Harry Potter. This year it was between Jasmine from Aladdin or Audrey Hepburn in her role at Breakfast at Tiffany's, and of course my Disney heart lays with Disney, so I went with that one, and I'll be Audrey Hepburn next year, I think.
You Audrey next year. You guys have the same bone structure.
I know, and I got the hair. I could put it up, and the long black gloves, and that'll be a fun costume.
Herman, are you going to reveal? What are you going to do for Halloween?
Me? Oh, I haven't done Halloween in probably 15 years. I was a big old drag queen back in the day, so I've had my fill of dressing up.
Well, if any of you want to come, we're having Yaz's birthday party is around Halloween, and we have epic birthday parties, and this one will be in Greenwich Village on October 29th. So if you haven't,
I might take you up on that.
You ought to. There'll be fascinating people there, unbelievably fun people, and they're epic parties. There'll be a DJ, there'll be a band, all in a one-bedroom apartment with about 100 people. It's pretty amazing. We have to bribe all of our neighbors and the doorman to make sure we don't get hauled off to the right person.
Sounds fun.
Herman, you're the best. I really enjoyed having you. Go Cal.
Yes, go Cal, go Bears.
Yeah, and Danielle, you're the best. And have a great weekend, you all. And we'll see you next week with someone new and exciting and provocative. Not as provocative necessarily as Herman. And I love the fact Herman only has one name. I do, but Herman only has one name. This is it. Good night. Goodbye. Good night.